Hello friends, so today we are going to do another question on the definite integration. So the problem says integration of x sine to the power 5x and cos to the power 6x when the limits are defined from 0 to pi. Now at the first sight you must think that you must be thinking that we can apply the gamma property over here because we have sine to the power m and cos to the power n over here. But the thing that is stopping us from applying that is the x in the multiplication over here. If we can get rid of this x by any method or any property, we can just simply apply the gamma function to solve this integration in seconds. Now to actually get rid of this x, we use the King's property. King's property. So whenever you find that there's an extra x multiplied with the function that you can integrate very easily, we would consider applying the King's property. So I can apply it by first putting I is equals to 0 to pi x sine to the power 5x cos to the power 6x dx. This writing down the question, and now applying the King's property, we have I is equals to 0 to pi minus x sine pi minus x to the power whole 5 and cos to the power 6 pi minus x dx. Now sine of pi minus x is sine x and cos of pi minus x is minus cos x, but since we have a even power in the even power, so we can just simply write it as cos x. So we can just simply write it as pi minus x sine to the power 5x and cos to the power 6x dx. So now adding the first equation and the second equation, we get 2i is equals to 0 to pi, the limits remain the same, and now we have a positive x and this function over here, and if we multiply this by individual terms of this bracket, we get a minus of x and this term. So both the terms get cancelled because we have a plus over here and a minus over here in the second step. So we can just simply write it as pi sine to the power 5x and cos to the power 6x dx. Now we actually got rid of the x we had, and we have just got a constant in place of the x, which we can just take it out of the integration sign because the constant does not affects because the constant in multiplication does not affect the integration as a whole. So we get this is equals to 2i. Now the striking factor of what most of the student make is that they don't recognize that we can only apply the gamma property when we have 0 to pi by 2 in our limits, but here we have 0 to pi in our limits, so we actually even need to use a limit change property. So what we are gonna do is that we're just gonna pi into 2 0 to pi by 2. You can actually take a 2 out of the upper limit that we discussed in the in the previous videos. So we have sine to the power 5x and cos to the power 6x dx. So this is the step that most of the student miss. Now we have actually we can just cancel the 2 over here. So we have I is equals to pi 0 to pi by 2 sine to the power 5x and cos to the power 6x dx. Now applying the gamma property directly, we can simply write 5 plus 1 6 by 2, 6 plus 1 7 by 2 upon 2 of 5 plus 6 is 11, 11 plus 2 is 13 by 2. If you don't know how to solve the gamma property, we have actually discussed it in the second or third video of the definite integration play series. So just solving this, we can just cancel out and get a 3 over here. So 2 into 1 into 5 by 2 into 3 by 2 into 1 by 2 into under root pi upon 2 multiplied by, now 13 we can just write it as 11 by 2 to 9 by 2 into 7 by 2 into 5 by 2 into 3 by 2 into 1 by 2 and under root pi. Under root pi gets cancelled and these three terms get cancelled with the terms in the denominator. You can also cancel the 2 over here. So we are left with a 1 in the denominator, and we have 11 into 9 into 7, that is 63 into 11, and the 2 and the 8, we get 8 in the denominator by multiplying 2 3 times, so we can actually just check it in the numerator. So we have just solved this as a gamma function. Now we need to substitute the value of this. So we get I is equals to pi into 8 upon 63 into 11 is 693. So we have I is equals to 8 pi upon 693. So this is our final answer to the question. And now taking another question that is very important. I'm actually gonna this question is so important that I'm gonna solve this using two methods, because this question is real important. So we have x cube into 1 minus x to the power 5 dx from 0 to 1. Yeah, now the first step we are gonna now the first method that we are gonna use is the simplest of all, but it's a bit lengthy. So let me show you what is the first method. So since we have a 1 minus x and a 1 in the upper limit, we just think of the King's property over here, because we can just twist the terms. Wait, we just did a mistake. There was not 5, it was x whole to the power 5. Yeah, so this was the question. Now we have 1 minus x, and we can just simply use the King's property to get a 1 minus x here also. So first we are going to use the King's property. Applying the King's property, we have 1 minus x whole cube to 1 minus x whole 5 dx. Since this is equal to I, this is also equal to I. Now I is equals to 0 to 1 minus x to the power 3, and solving this we get a positive x to the power 5 dx. Now we know the binomial expansion of 1 minus x to the power 3. Since we also know the binomial expansion of 1 minus x into to the power 5, but we are too lazy to apply this, because we know that we gonna include the terms of nc0 nc1, and then we are going to calculate that too. So it's a bit lengthy process, but we can apply the binomial expansion here also and just solve the question. But instead of applying it here, it's much easier to apply it in the cube, because we know the direct formula of it. So we can just write the direct formula, that is 1 minus x cube plus 3x square minus 3x, and we have an x to the power 5 in the multiplication. So now when we can just simply multiply the terms with each the term in the bracket. So we get x to the power 5 minus x to the power 5 6 7 8 plus 3x to the power 7 minus 3x to the power 6 dx. Now since we have plus and minus in the different terms, so we can just separate the integration sign and just write it separately for each of the terms. 0 to 1 x to the power 8 plus 3 0 to 1 x to the power 7 minus 3 0 to 1 x to the power 6 dx. Sorry for the missing of dx over here. You can just include the dx with each term. Now we can just simply solve each of the terms and get the answer. But as you have seen that this method is a bit lengthy process. So instead of this method 1, which we are going to use when we don't think when we don't get any of the other method in our mind, and just solving for the question, just for the sake of solving the question. But instead of this, we can use the method 2, which is actually based on the substitution. So this is the question. Let me just write it down again over here. 0 to 1 x to the power 3 into 1 minus x to the power 5 dx. Now if you think that we have a 1 minus x in the to the power 5 in the brackets, now if we substitute x is equals to sine square theta, then that's going to be a very important substitution, because we just can write dx is equals to sine square theta. So 2 sine theta into cos theta by applying the chain rule. So we can just write it as sine, let it just be like this only. So we can just write dx as this. Now when we have 0 to 1 over here, and we can just write x cube as sine square theta to the power 3 and 1 minus sine square theta to the power 5 dx. 0 to 1 sine to the power 5 theta, and 1 minus sine square theta is cos square theta, so cos to the power 10 theta dx. Now we are going to substitute the dx as well, so we get 2 out of the integration sign because 2 is a constant, sine to the power 6 theta and a cos to the power 11 theta. Now we can just 3 into 2 is 6. We made a mistake over here. We were supposed to write a 6 in the over here, a 6 over here, and when we multiplied that with a sign over here, we get a 7 over here. Just a small mistake we did, and we get a d theta over here. Now we can just simply apply the King's property over here again. No, we can actually just solve this directly by using the property that we know, by using the gamma property. Now if you think we have limit 0 to 1 over here, but these limits are defined for the x. Now we need to define the limits for theta, and when we will define the limits for theta, you'll observe that you get the same pattern of to apply the gamma function, because we have x from 0 to 1. So we have x is equals to sine square theta. Since we have changed the variable, the limits would also get changed, so we won't have 0 and 1 in the limits. We would have, when we put sine 0, we would get sine square theta is 0, so we have theta is equals to 0. So the lower limits remains the same, but the upper limit changes. So we have x is equals to sine square theta for the upper limit as well. We put 1 over here, we get sine square theta. So theta, so theta, the minimum value of theta could be pi by 2. So we're just gonna consider the minimum value, and we are gonna replace the, since we had x in the substitution in the multiplication, we were supposed to integrate this with dx. So it's very applicable to put the limit as 0 to 1 over here, but since we have changed the integration from dx to d theta, to d theta, we are gonna change the limits as well. So the limits changes from 0 to, we have a pi by 2 over here as well. Now just simply applying the gamma function, we can solve this in seconds. So let me just write the final answer for you. So the answer is going to be 1 by 6 minus 1 by 9 minus 3 by 7 plus 3 by 8. You can just calculate this to get your final answer. So this is one of the most important questions of the definite integration, where we can solve this question by using a long way and a shortcut also. So I would recommend you guys to remember the substitution method, because this is very new to you, the substitution method. When you get used to the substitution, you will automatically think of the substitution that you must do to solve this question with ease. So thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. We are going to cover some more questions on the definite integration. Thanks for watching.